going on, my From fans, my Fromily? I'm One Eye Bry, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about From Season 2, Episode 10, and it was awesome. Spoiler warning, obviously, if you haven't seen the episode yet. Really, if you don't want to know this information, stop watching now. First and foremost, we got some answers. That's all I was asking for. They gave us a little taste, and we got some stuff answered, and Tabitha is out. What does that mean for Season 3? Can't wait to find out. But like I said before, when I broke down the trailer for Season 2, Episode 10, which is the season finale, we finally got some answers. I'm excited. Hopefully you're excited. Sparks my interest even more so in the show, and it was already very high. But we got to see inside the lighthouse. We got some answers about the music box. Not really much about the monsters or controls these things. We still don't know about that. Sarah, I thought would be a little more heroic, but she found out about the music box. We got to have the wedding that was building up. Really, they set up this season really with episode 201 to 210. But we got the wedding they were building up for a long time. Not sure how that's going to affect things going into season 3. Are we going to get a time jump? But the wedding was nice. It was a small little ceremony with Ellis and Fatima, and they did the best they could. Donna and Boyd were there. It was just nice little moments here. And it's a fictional show, but it definitely brought the emotions. You're like, oh, this is nice for these two who love each other. They care about each other. Donna was excited to be there. I'm glad Boyd showed up. And it's a nice thing. You see the dream catcher, which is symbolic of they can't go to sleep and the dreams were dangerous. Then we see that Ellis and Fatima, they don't care about it being a big wedding. And I think that's awesome. I think that's the way it should be. But Boyd shows up, which is a huge moment just to be there. You know, I've always stood by the statement of it's not where you are, it's who you're with. And it's a simple little ceremony, and it was beautiful. Now, what does that mean for Fatima's pregnancy and having a child going to season 3? And I couldn't help but the painting, the drawing behind her. It looks like a woman with a pillow on her stomach, but it also looks like a woman is pregnant. So it was a foreshadowing all along. But Boyd showing up and walking Fatima down the aisle, the little makeshift aisle in the bedroom, and it was just nice, you know. Donna being a mole is what people have said for a long time, and not sure there is a mole. They didn't really hint at that or satisfy that at all. But it was a nice little part of the episode, and I really enjoyed it. As for Boyd, amazing. Harold, I don't know how to say his last name, steals the show. Hopefully he wins an award for the show. But him and Donna acting time and time again are amazing. And they really pull it off. We believe that they're stuck in this place. We believe everything that they're saying. And I'm glad Donna, spoke some sense into Boyd for him to show up to the wedding. And I'm glad they did. As for Boyd's speech, it was heartfelt. It was real. It was like, I'd be the same way. I'd be like, I don't know who you are and what's going on, if you're having fun with this or not. He was saying all the things that I was feeling if I was there as well. And it was just, awesome. Harold is really stealing the show, and hopefully he gets nominated for stuff, and hopefully more and more people see this show and how it's rewarding. Like, it feels rewarding now. Donna, looking on Tilly, and Tilly's having a, prayer circle and just getting ready for the end. We'll have to see what's in store for her for season 3. But we see Reggie, I believe this is this guy's name. He took the rifle, which I believe was Randall's, the same bag that he had there, and he goes after Boyd. Like, come on, man, what you doing? But I understand his mindset. He's blaming Boyd for Paula's death, even though Boyd had nothing to do with it. And he's there to kill Boyd, which I thought he was going to kill other people, but he just went after Boyd, which was lucky because everyone else is safe. And I guess Reggie wants revenge, or does he feel like if he puts Boyd down, it'll all stop? Because he blames Boyd for, you went into the woods, you did this. And Boyd's like, yeah, I'm going to light this torch, and I'm going to save everybody. But Reggie don't care, so he shoots him, and luckily he's kind of a bad shot, so he hits Boyd in the shoulder, and Boyd's still up and okay, and takes down Reggie with 2 shots, and takes him out. And Boyd's got to be like, come on, man, what is going on here? I'm trying to save everybody and do this, and Boyd's trying to be the hero time and time again, and I'm glad he didn't give up on that, because he easily could have and be like, yeah, enough of this, I'm done with this. But Boyd saves the day later on and saves everyone yet again. And again, Harold did a great job, just like the whole series so far. You could see the people coming together, and Kenny was trying to be there for Christy, which was a nice moment because, Kenny's just trying to be there for the person he cares about. He wants to be with Christy, but it's not going to work out. Well, as of right now. Then we see Jade, who is another awesome character, breaking bottles and trying to find a sign or find something. And when he's talking to, I believe it was Tom, the guy who died in early on in the season, he's talked into going to the tunnels. I want to call them caves or the cave, but they're tunnels. And it's very smart that he ties a rope here around the tree and he takes the rope into the tunnels because he's got to find his way out and he could get trapped in there. And Jade's a smart guy. I think hopefully he'll figure out how to get out of there too. Can other people leave like Tabitha did? And when Jade slid down the tunnel, it was pretty funny. But Jade found some answers, but he didn't. Like Tabitha leaving gives us answers, but it's going to be a problem for Jim, Jade, Victor. Like it's not going to be what it is. Maybe that's only one person can go at a time, so we'll have to see. But as Jade's in the tunnel or tunnels walking around, there's no monsters in there. And then all of a sudden, the kids are on these slabs of rock and they're saying Ankui. So we thought it would be, a word for Tabitha, but it probably means tree. Because if you look up at the top in the center, it looks like roots. But Jade is probably like, what is going on here? He saw the dummy from before, the ventriloquist dummy, and then he sees the kids. And so he saw the kids and Tabitha saw the kids, which is pretty interesting. So they came out of nowhere, and there's also interesting that there's 7 of them. So let's see if that means anything for the 3rd season. And they keep saying Ankui, Ankui, Ankui. And we don't know what that means, but a lot of people think it means tree, which it could. They're looking up at the roots, and it could be the bottle tree could be right up there. But what happened to these kids? Like, why do they look like this? The boy in white doesn't look like this. He looks in white and he's pale and he's, in white clothing. But, as they look up, Jade and the kids look up into the, part of the tunnel at the top. And now it's not roots, but it's the symbol that Jade has been looking at for a long time and Christopher used to see before. And they saw it on the walls of the tunnels, but now it's actually there. And what does it mean? Like, what is that going forward into season 3? Again, there's a ton of questions left to be answered, but we finally got some answers in this season 2 finale, which is awesome. Then we got to go to the bottle tree and Victor and Tabitha. So we see the bottle tree and we see Victor is like, it's supposed to be here. Where do these trees come from? So stuff moves around. People manipulate the area. But this is where Victor says, this is where I found her. And Tabitha asks, your mom? And it's his mom. So when his mom ran out of the bunker, she didn't make it very far. Or she made it to here at least. I don't know how far away it is. But yeah, after everyone died, I came looking for her. She didn't make it into the tree. So Victor says that his mom didn't make it in the tree. But my question is, did Eloise? So I think Eloise got out. And Eloise is going to be a big part of Tabitha trying to make it back into the town to rescue everyone. But more on that later. So Victor says, but this faraway tree, this one is special. Because this one takes her to the tower. It'll take you to the tower. So Victor is remembering things little by little by little by little. Like every couple episodes, you kind of remember something, which is good because we want answers. So you go to the children in this faraway tree to the tower. So Tabitha is like worried about, is it going to hurt? And it's just like going through a doorway. And it's interesting that Victor gives her his lunchbox that's filled with snacks. So again, this is going to further my theory that Eloise is going to see this and she's going to realize that Tabitha was there. Something's going to happen with that, but that's just a theory right now. You see the snacks, you see the thermos, and you see the stuff that's in there. So Tabitha got out, but she ain't going anywhere, I would assume. She's going to have to go back. Can she actually get back into the town? Did Elgin leave like this and get back? But Victor and Tabitha say bye, and then Tabitha enters the tree, and Victor is all alone again. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen going into season 3. I don't know if we're going to be getting more seasons than season 3, season 4, but I don't want any more than probably 2 seasons. Wrap it up give us more answers, a couple more questions, more answers, and then finish it. But like I said, Victor is left alone in the woods. But Tabitha walks into the woods, and she comes across the tower, or the lighthouse. So it kind of connects with season 1. The finale of that with Boyd and Sarah, and they saw it, and they didn't know how to get to it, and the spiders and everything. We didn't see the spiders here, but some stuff was interesting, connecting, and it was awesome. So Tabitha sees the tower and looks up, and it's the lighthouse, and then she goes in there. And it's just cool that we're getting answers like this. It's a major thing. There's still questions. Like, she got out, but how will the other people get out? Will they get out? Well, we're not done yet, not even close. So Boyd lights the torch, and as he lights the torch, he goes into the spot where he met Martin, which was interesting because it's different now. It's the same, but it's different. So he lights the torch and I guess teleports to this area, and we're still wondering who dropped the rope down to Boyd. It had to be Martin. I don't know. I guess we'll never get that answered. But we see the music box. So we saw the music box in 201, and now it's answered here in 210 that Boyd destroyed it. But we see Randall, Mary, and Julie in place of Martin and the other skeletons. So it's pretty interesting that this happened before, and there was, people tied up there before, but now we see our people. So is this kind of a cycle of repeating what happens here in Fromland? But it's interesting that Boyd just goes over to Julie, like, Julie, I'm going to save you. I don't care about the other two. No, I'm kidding. He saves everybody. But he looks at the music box, which, again, showed up in 201, and now it's gone in 210. Or is it? But as Boyd is looking at what to do, we see Abby yet again. So the powers that be are projecting Abby into this area and basically trying to convince Boyd to leave the music box alone. And Abby's like, it doesn't matter if they die now or die later. They're going to suffer. There's no use in doing this. And you see Julie screaming, and then she's screaming here, and Mary's screaming, and Randall are screaming here, and they're screaming in the beds where they're at. So they're here, but they're there. So they're kind of in two places. But it's interesting that Abby also says that it's not fear that feeds the forest or controls this place. It's hope. So I don't know if that's true or not, or they were trying to convince Boyd to leave it alone and not do that. But Boyd's going to do what Boyd's going to do. And he says, nah, this doesn't make sense. Like, why are you here talking to me to help me? So whoever's trying to, stop me, they would just let you talk to me. So Boyd's very smart. And he's like, nah, I got to stop the melody. You know how the nursery rhyme is going in the story. So he destroys the music box. And I wish Martin just said to do that from the beginning. It would have saved a lot of trouble. But Boyd stomps on the music box, lights it on fire, and everyone is saved. So, the 3 people that were in the trance coma thing with the cicadas and everything, they wake up and they're saved. The music box, Boyd stopped the melody. So Julie wakes up, Jim's there, like, oh, you're good, you're safe. And it's nice because I'm glad everybody survived, even Randall, right? So Jim's like, oh, you're good. And I couldn't help but look at Ethan's facial expression. Like, he was kind of disappointed. Like, he's not like that happy or overjoyed. Is he the new Victor? We'll see. But Mary wakes up and Christy's right there to, comfort her. And it's interesting that Julie has someone to comfort her dad. Mary wakes up, someone to comfort her, Christy, but no one's there for Randall. Like, Randall's there in a room by himself after Donna and Dale found him in the woods and then brought him back. And it's interesting, the whole dynamic with Donna and Dale. They're actually husband and wife in real life, and you could see them acting very like that. It was pretty interesting. But Randall wakes up, gets out of bed, and he's all right. But Boyd gets out of the cave tunnel thing, and now he's back out here, and he's like, yeah, I ain't done. You ain't going to break me. You're trying, but it ain't working. You ain't going to do it. So Boyd steps up, and he yells out the powers that be, and then as he does, the dog shows up, just like from 201. The same dog, and they had the bookends, basically, 201 with the dog, 210 with the dog, Boyd, Martin, all that stuff there. But again, Ethan's drawing pictures, kind of like Victor. Is he the new Victor? Julie's recovering, and Jim brings over a glass of water, And I wonder what Julie's thinking. Like, was that a nightmare? How long was she out for? Like, it's just what's in her head. Ethan goes to the door and opens it. And he's like, the buzzing stopped. Does that mean it's over? And Jim's like, I hope so. And Julie asks, where's Mom? So then we cut to the big epic stuff here with Tabitha. So Tabitha is walking up the steps. We see a dump truck, another truck, I think the Four of Hearts, some other cards on the steps. And we hear, Ankui, Ankui. Like, it's one person saying Ankui. She goes up some more steps, another little ladder. We see the gears going to turn the lighthouse light, and she's walking there through it. And she's like, what do I do? Ankui, Ankui, you know. They're saying it to make her go up the steps to the top. So that's not tree. Like, is it this way? This way? Like, I don't know. What does Ankui mean? Hopefully it's answered. But she makes it all the way to the top of the lighthouse. And she looks around. And she's like, all right, what now? And so she's looking out. And we can see, you know, the different terrain. I guess the mountains, the trees. Is that snow? And it's definitely probably CGI. It's probably green screen. But as she turns around, we see the boy in white, which is most likely a different actor. I guess the other boy aged out. I'm pretty sure it's a different actor. But he apologizes. He's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about this. And Tabitha's like, what? And then he pushes Tabitha out the window. Like, there's not another way. Like, this is the only way to get her out of here is to push her through a glass window and have her fall, you know, and I guess hit her head, go unconscious, because she wakes up in the hospital with scratches on her face. I would assume broken limbs or whatever, but she walks around and she's doing okay. But she wakes up, and the nurse sees that she wakes up, and he's like, hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta go get the doctor. So Tabitha's gotta be like, what is going on here? So she wakes up, and she's in the hospital, and hopefully she doesn't have amnesia. Like, I hate when shows do the amnesia route, but she's trying to make sense of it all. And she takes off the monitors and takes off the different things that are attached to her. She's in St. Anthony's Hospital. You can see it on the computer monitor there. But she gets up and walks to the window. She's doing pretty well. She's walking around. She looks really good for suffering a fall. And the doctor comes in and says that she's been there for 3 days. Some hikers found her on a trail. She's Dr. Brody in room 2225, I believe is what room she's in. And Tabitha's trying to make sense of all this. And it's one of those things where you're like, okay, so Tabitha made it out of there. She's clearly in the hospital. Some people think like they're all in comas. They all had trauma. So is this how they're all going to wake up? Or is it because she suffered a fall? Like, you know, what is it going to actually be the end game for the rest of the cast? But Tabitha opens up the window and looks out. And the doctor asks, can you remember anything else? And she says, no. Like, I don't think she's answering, no, I can't. She's just like, no, I can't believe this. No. And she looks out, and some people are saying this is Maine or I don't know. It doesn't really matter where it is. She's just not in Fromville town anymore. And this is how the episode and the season ends. Tabitha looks out in St. Anthony's Hospital, and that's it. But I think my theory is that Eloise got out, and she's going to find Tabitha, and Tabitha's going to show her the lunchbox or something and be like, where did you get this from? Talk about Victor, talk about all that, and then set up the rest of the series, season 3, season 4. I'm not sure how far it's going to go, but let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Stay safe, and as always, tell them Daryl.
Yo, we love you.